Morning, good morning, good morning. I am Tamara Johnson Shealy, activist, advocate, entrepreneur. I am coming from you live, Blog Talk Radio, YouTube, Facebook Live, my Facebook family. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Let's see who is going to join us. It is Friday, June 15th. I am again Tamara Johnson Shealy. Good morning, good morning. I have a special guest with me this morning. We're going to talk to Miss Dalia Kasseb out in Texas. Got a lot of family out there, political family out there in Texas. I don't have any family, but I got a lot of political family. Those that I consider political, in my political family out in Texas. So we are going to have her join us in just a few minutes. But I wanted to chime in and have a little chat. Let's see who is going to join us. Give us just a second. Again, it's a little bit past the top of the hour, just about 3 minutes past the top of the hour. I want to thank you for chiming in. We got some viewers that are coming. They're coming. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I'm going to put the call-in number on the screen because I don't want anybody to miss an opportunity to talk. The chatter is still happening around me. So I definitely want us to talk. Let's get these things out in the open. No sense in sometimes we have these conversations on social media and these conversations get kind of lost in the thread because sometimes they go on for quite a while. So I'm just encouraging you to call in. I'm going to put the call-in number on the screen. It's 929-477-3442. Again, 929-477-3442. I'm not going to hold you too long this morning, but we're going to continue to have these conversations on Friday mornings, having guests to come in and talk to me because I don't want you to think this is a singular issue. Anything that we are bringing to this broadcast, it is not about me. It is not about me. It's about the bigger picture. It's about us uniting. I know Withhold the Vote, which is a new initiative that we just kicked off, is quite disturbing for a lot of people. But we want to help you get beyond it and beyond the words and look at this from a deeper perspective. It's not about the words that you see, but it's the action behind it. So it requires a conversation. Democrats, I know this is a bit disturbing, but we can definitely have this conversation and we can get beyond these races that we're continuing to lose because too many people are not engaged politically. And those voices that silence is deafening. So again, I am Tamara Johnson Shealy. I see we got a nice little audience that we have here. So good morning. So I wanted to talk to you a bit about Withhold the Vote, because I know that you guys are still like in an uproar about what is Withhold the Vote. So I actually added some things to the website. So, excuse me, the website is not quite finished, but I actually added some things to the Facebook page, a post that I wanted to share with you from yesterday. And in this post, I said this page validates the silence of those who do not vote. And instead of shame and guilt, our goal is to encourage and empower. Withhold the Vote holds candidates and elected officials accountable to the issues that affect people of color. I think I'm making a lot of people mad because all they see is Withhold the Vote. Some people in the comments says it's counterproductive. And I had one conversation that I wanted to share with you this morning because she asked, how does not voting make a candidate accountable? And this was the explanation. I wanted her to think about it in terms of money. And when you think in terms of money, the only power that people of color have is economic power and political power. And I would encourage people of color to not just, you can't spend your money everywhere. So we can't just give away our votes. So this is an opportunity for us to harness our political power the same way we harness our we should be harnessing our economic power. You don't spend your money with everybody and every business if they don't represent your interests. You know, we boycott those businesses. So in this explanation, I told her to think about it in terms of money. I said, when people choose not to spend their money with the business, is that or is that not power? If that business doesn't conform to the needs or concerns of the people, did we or did we not hold them accountable? The same is true with Withhold the Vote. People of color and white allies must be strategic with whom they give their vote. She made a comment about our ancestors who had died for this and they'd be rolling over in their graves. There's the shame and the guilt right there. I say, yes, our ancestors did die for us to have the right to vote. However, they died for this because they saw the right to vote as leverage to advance our people. Again, this is leverage to advance our people. They did not die for us to concede our power to the allegiance of a political party. And then she goes on to say to me that she doesn't understand because I ran for office and now I'm asking for people not to vote after I've lost. This was never about me. This is not about me, but this is about an experience that I had within the party. So I have an inside look at how the inside of the Democratic Party is not intentional about people of color and communities of color. And I have a problem with that. These people are sitting on the sidelines, and the Democratic Party ignores the fact that we're the ones doing all the work, communities of color doing all the work, holding the party up, and we're the ones that are ignored. So I wanted to come to you this morning. I wanted to talk about it. And the second part of this conversation this morning, I hope you guys will call in and chime in. You have so much to say on Facebook with the back and forth with the chatter. So I'm hopeful that you will call in. I am going to put the number up again. Let me put it back on the screen for you. So call in and talk. It is 929-477-3442. Call in and let's have a conversation. Let's have some of these conversations out loud. But I'm going to talk to you in the second half after I talk to my guest, Ms. Dalia Kasseb, who is a candidate, a Muslim candidate out in Texas. And I wanted her to come on and talk about her experience of being Muslim inside the Democratic Party and just being Muslim in America, because these are the concerns of people of color that we need to hear their silence, and we need to validate it. And I wanted to bring her on because we need to understand her experience. Just like I had an experience as a woman of color inside the Democratic Party, she's had her own experiences. So we're going to bring her on in just a moment. The second half of this call, this broadcast today, and this call on Blog Talk Radio, and this conversation is going to be about write-in candidates. And I've heard, and I've gotten phone calls about there's some chatter around candidates that have run for office and are interested in being write-ins for the general election, and literally going against the Democratic establishment or the candidate of on the ballot in November, and going against the Republican. And it's a conversation that we need to have. That write-in option is there. What do we do with that? What does that need to look like? It's there, and it's a ballot initiative. Anybody can write somebody's name in on the ballot. So let's talk about it. Let's have a real candid conversation. And I have the number on the screen. And again, that number is 929-477-3442. Again, 929-477-3442. I have Miss Dalia. I'm going to bring her in because I see her outside and she looks like she's getting pretty hot out there. Let me bring her into this broadcast. Hi, Dalia. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me on your broadcast.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us. You are beautiful, and it's hot out there, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I'm currently at the NRG Arena in Houston, Texas. We are celebrating Eid, which is we fast for a month of Ramadan from sunrise to sunset, no water, no food. And then today is the day we break in our fast, and we're celebrating that.
Awesome. See, so many people. Awesome. Yes, I see. So many people don't know a whole lot about Ramadan. So why don't you, for those that, just aren't clear about what it is, why don't you tell us what it is? Tell those that don't know what it is.
So we spend about 20 to 30 days fasting from the moment the sun starts to rise.
Uh-oh. Did we lose her?
And so that's usually between 12 to 16.
Uh-oh. Dalia, I think we are losing a connection there. I do apologize. Technical difficulties, technology. Yes, we are losing Dalia. Dalia, I know we can see you, but I'm not sure that anybody can hear you. If anybody can hear Dalia, chime in and let me know what you hear on your end. I do not hear her on this end. Let me bring her back into the lobby for just a moment, and we're going to come back in just a second. I think we have completely lost the connection. But again, I am Tamara Johnson Shealy. I'm going to put that call-in number on the screen. Call in as we are having technical difficulties. This part of the broadcast is actually working. So call in. Let's talk. Let's talk about what it means. What does political power actually mean? We talk about economic power. When we withhold our dollars, we don't spend our money everywhere. And everybody can't, have our dollars. So why should we give away our votes? Let's talk about it. There's a lot of, like I said, a lot of chatter online around this conversation. So let's talk about it. Chelsea says she can hear her. Good. Let's see if we can. We actually totally lost the connection. So hopefully we'll bring her back in just a few minutes. Technology. I don't get a chance. I don't get I can't fix that. We just have to continue to roll with it. Cheryl says she can hear. Good morning, Cheryl. Thank you and welcome to the broadcast this morning. Guys, call in. I'm going to put the call-in number on the screen. Call in. Again, it's 929-477-3442. Again, 929-477-3442. Hopefully we'll bring Dalia back. Technology, it's sometimes it's not our friend, but we just have to keep rolling with it. I see we have a lot of people that are watching. Thank you guys for joining. Let's talk about Withhold the Vote. I actually made some notes that I wanted to share with you and talk about it. We have to think beyond our own understanding. Those that aren't voting, they're sitting on the sidelines. Those of us that do vote, it's a different mindset. Those people that and I remember, I'm gonna just be honest, I wasn't always politically engaged. I wasn't raised in a family where politics was a conversation we had at the dinner table. It was not. I didn't grow up around other students or other kids that taught that, had politically engaged families. I didn't grow up like that. So I remember there was, even when I was registered to vote when I could vote, I didn't always vote either. So, we have to think beyond our own understanding and be a little bit forgiving of those that don't quite get it. Dalia is back. Let's see if we can bring her back into this broadcast. Thank you guys for sticking and staying with me. Those of you that are still watching, let's see if we can bring Dalia back. Dalia.
Hello, guys. I'm sorry. I think my phone got too hot.
Yeah, it was pretty warm out there. And you are in Texas, right?
I am in Texas, yes.
Yes.
I think I left off by saying that Ramadan is just a time that we reflect on those that don't have what we have. And so we kind of go through a fasting phase to kind of understand the hardships that some people might have around the world.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So you know what? I mentioned to you, and a lot of you that know me may not know this, that, when I was 16, I actually was introduced to the religion of Islam. I was it was something that I was interested in. I stopped eating pork. I had a Quran. I wrapped my head. So I really wanted to understand this religion. I would go to the masjid. The prayers. I started to get into it. So I can just tell you that this is a beautiful religion. These are beautiful people. And I always see religion as, I call it, and this is how I explain it to my children. We won't go too deep into this, but I just kind of want you to understand me and understand how, connected we are as humans. I always see religion as a stepping stone to spirituality. So I think it doesn't matter how you get there as long as you get there. So I totally respect you, Dalia, and you're beautiful.
Sweet. Thank you so much. So I am running for Pearland City Council. Our elections are up. Tomorrow is election day, actually, from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And so it's very exciting, being able to knock on doors and to listen to the needs of the people and to hear what people in Pearland want to see from their city.
Yes, awesome. And let's jump into the conversation. Don't want to keep you too long. A lot of people are saying good morning to you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes. So I wanted to hear about, as a Muslim candidate, when you walk, you're out, you're canvassing, you're knocking on doors. What is that like? What is that like?
So whenever I'm knocking on doors, it is the most amazing feeling ever. I knock on doors. I've knocked on thousands of doors throughout Pearland, and people are so excited to see me there because the truth is they've never seen anyone at their door before. My team last year and this year, we have been the only people that have been knocking on their doors, and they will say it time and time again. Last year you knocked, this year you knocked. and we haven't had anyone else knock on the door. So people are very encouraged about the engagement and about people trying to reach out to them. But what we have to stress is that because we knock on your doors doesn't mean that you're actually at the polls voting. So when you say yes, I'm going to vote for you, you have to go to the polls. And you said a very good point about withholding the vote. Actually, withholding the vote makes your voice louder, because the things that we have been fighting for to progress our city and progress our agendas don't ever get passed through because you've withheld the vote. So the person that's actually fighting for your best interest isn't in the office.
So withhold the vote is a power move, and I really want people to understand that it's power in voting and it's power in not voting. And just because these people are sitting on the sideline doesn't mean they don't have power, because they do.
Oh yeah,
They're not. If we're not targeting these people to vote the right people, we're going to get the wrong people, right?
That's right. That's right. That's right. So if you're not going out and engaging in voting usually takes just a few minutes out of your day. And so if you're not doing that simple process that our people before us died for, then we are just simply saying that what the status quo is what we approve and what we want to continue to happen.
So withhold the vote. I really want people to understand who we are. I want you to think beyond your own understanding of voting. It's power in voting and it's power in not voting. And we can't shame people into voting, and we can't make them feel guilty about voting. Yes, people did die for us not to vote, but this is political leverage. The same way your dollars are leverage, the vote is leverage as well. And we have to be intentional about harnessing that power around candidates and elected officials who have our interests at heart. Like, we have to be intentional about those candidates and getting the right people elected.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, and it's so important that we do that and make sure that our voices are heard. You can't imagine how well, I'm sure you can, Tamara. You know how expensive it is to run a race. But when you send out, direct mailers and phone banking, and you block walk and knock on doors, what you want is to make sure that the message that you're saying is what the people want to hear. And so that's why I've knocked on so many doors, because when I knock on doors, I know exactly what people want, and that's how I formulate my platform. And that, I think, is the best part about being engaged in the community. It's not necessarily saying this is what I think I want from the community, but this is what I've heard thousands of times from a community.
And this is holding candidates and elected officials accountable. And when you hear that, we expect you to go in there and take care of business, which I'm sure you will. And I was talking earlier. I know more people. Like I didn't come from a political family. I didn't have a political background prior to watching my industry unfold and me becoming political. I wasn't raised like that. And I know so many people. Honestly, I know more people who don't vote than people who do vote. And that says a lot about me politically. Right. I'm very engaged politically, but I know a lot of people that don't vote. They don't have any faith in the system, and nor do they have faith in our politicians and our candidates. They don't have faith that you're going to do the right thing. Then the ones that are in office, they're not sure you're doing anything.
That's right. That's right. And you know what? One thing that I've noticed is while block walking, there are supporters out there that donate, that contact their groups, that are very, very supportive. But then when it comes time for election, because I was in a runoff and I go back to that same house, they didn't vote. And so even though you are donating to a candidate and you're giving them and you're supporting them and you're asking your family and friends to vote, you have to vote as well, because your voice matters, and it's very, very important for you to also go out and vote, even though that you're supporting in so many other ways.
Yeah, and this platform is designed to encourage and empower. And I want people to hear that, because they're so confused about, you're telling people not to vote. No, we're validating the silence of those who don't, because we want them to know that that silence is deafening. We hear you when you don't vote. And those are the people that we have to have a different conversation with, and we have to encourage them, and we have to empower them. We can't do the shame and the guilt, and we can't do what we've been doing because it's not working. We have to build a strong foundation, and a foundation of people who will continue to vote. We don't have to have the same conversation, but we have to have this conversation now.
Yes, and there are candidates now that are on the ballot throughout the U.S. that are really determined to make a positive change and positive differences in the community. Please research all your candidates throughout the U.S. and know who you're voting for, because there are people now that are there that are not going to approve of the status quo and are going to really fight for the benefit of the communities. And so, I want to make sure that you are aware that, a lot of people talk about politicians and not wanting to go out, but a lot of, like, for example, me, I'm not a politician. I'm a pharmacist who's very excited about running, who saw the need of someone to finally step out and to talk and become a part of a community that's bigger than myself and to give back, because the community is giving back to me, so much to me. And so that's what's important, is that now we have candidates that are really, really striving to bring the issues to the table and to really talk about them in a serious way.
And I want to go back to, I want to bring you back, because I want to ask you this, because I know that being Democrat and being Muslim, I want you to be very honest and candid, because we have people here that don't think or don't realize that, we have divides inside of our political process and inside of our political parties. How has it been being a Democrat and a Muslim at the same time? Let's talk about it. Be honest, please.
Honestly, I'm in a Republican district, right? And so even though we are 60% minority and 40% majority, we don't vote that way. Our majority, 40% is the one that votes. And so what we have to make sure to say and to do is to say no to the people that have been attacking a religion, attacking a woman, even women. We don't have any women on council at this point. And so it's just, the fact that we want to become part of the discussion, and we want to bring the issues to the table, the real issues. Like, for example, we have Blue Ridge landfill here that's causing cancer, respiratory diseases in our communities, that's causing health effects. We have traffic that takes people 3 hours to get home, back and forth. Quality time spent away from family. And so we have issues that we want to bring to the table. And that's what we need to focus on, is the issues, and then just ignore the negativity that comes out from the other side.
Yeah. We have work to do. And we have a lot of work to do.
Yes, but we're doing a good job.
We are doing a good job. And you know what? Like I say, this whole Withhold the Vote, people are like in such a uproar that we're having this conversation, but it's about harnessing our political power. It's about not giving our votes away just to any and every candidate. It's because you have a D or whatever, an R, whatever behind your name, because this platform is designed to meet people where they are, and those that don't vote, we have to have a very different conversation with them. So we can't shy away from it. We cannot, Dalia.
Yes, and we're taking baby steps forward, and we're moving right. But what I want to see from all of you, Democrats and independents and people who want to see change, is I want to see a leap in November. We need to leap across the finish line and to come out stronger. And so I'm asking for each and every one of you not to hold your vote, to go out and vote in November elections.
And vote for the candidate that has your interests at heart.
Yes, that's very important. And then for my Pearlanders, tomorrow is the runoff election, June 16th, from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. So I'm asking you guys to go out and to vote.
Yes, yeah. Dalia, we wish you the best down in Texas. I'm going to put her website on the screen so that you guys, if you can send her something. I always am intentional about asking you guys to support her, support our candidates that we bring on this broadcast. Anybody that we're talking to that's running, they need us. They're like she's a Muslim running in a district where the numbers are there, but she needs support. She needs resources. So if you can send her website is on the screen. It's Dalia. Whatever you can send her something, and let's support our candidates that are different. And I'm so loving. I pray you get elected, because they need to see us as a people, and get beyond all the things that divide us. So Withhold the Vote, again, is about validating the silence of those who aren't voting and hearing them beyond your own understanding, beyond your own concerns, because they have their concerns, and that's why they're sitting on the sidelines.
That's right. And in Pearland, in our local elections, we used to be a 5% voting community. Now we're a 10% voting community. That means 90% of people do not vote. 90%. That is a big deal. Your voices count. Your one vote can make a difference and choose who's going to be on council. So your voice is very loud.
Yep. And she hears you. Candidates and elected officials that hear from communities of, where are you from? Ethiopia, correct?
I'm sorry?
Are you from Ethiopia?
I'm actually from Africa. I'm from Egypt.
You're from Egypt. I'm sorry. I knew it was Africa. I just couldn't.
Yeah, it was close enough.
Yes, Egypt. She's an Egyptian woman running in a district where the numbers are there and she needs support. And these votes have been withheld. We have people sitting on the sidelines.
Yes.
Validate their silence. Hear them. What are their concerns? Why are they not voting? What is it that we need to do as Democrats, or whatever? What do we need to do to get them to be involved politically? Do not shame them. It's like scolding. Do not guilt them. It's like scolding them. Do not talk down at them. Do not make them feel like because people died, they have to do this. They have power, but they have to be encouraged and empowered to do the right thing.
Yes.
So thank you, Dalia.
Thank you so much, Tamara, for having me. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. So get out and vote for Dalia. Votefordalia.com.
Thank you. Thank you for everything.
Thank you, Dalia.
Thank you, Tamara.
All right, you guys, get out and vote for Dalia. All right, I'm going to put this call-in number back on the screen. It's amazing to me how many of you actually have. We have so much chatter behind the scenes, and I can't get anybody to call in. Let's see. I'm going to put the number back up on the screen. Again, it's 929-477-3442. 929-477-3442. I wanted to talk about what I've heard about there being some write-in candidates on the November ballots right here in Georgia. What's your take on people being written in on the ballots? Strategy? Is it something that could work, or is it something that's gonna work against us? Is it something that will wake people up? Let's call in and let's talk about it. This platform, like I say, is used to encourage and empower for those those that are withholding their vote. We need to encourage them, empower them. Stop making people feel bad. And those that are like attacking me on social media, I'm gonna let you have your field day. I get it. It gives you a quote unquote, as we call it in the Black community, it gives you some shine. I promise you, I won't even acknowledge you when you are attacking me. Why would I? Then I would give you light. I won't do that. So you can continue to talk. You can continue to say, you know, I'm being a sore loser. But sometimes things have to happen to certain people in order to be a catalyst to change. And guess what? If I have to be the one to call it out, this was my experience inside the Democratic Party as a 3-time candidate. This was my experience. I saw where inside of the party, people are being chosen, people are being looked over, candidates are being neglected. So, you know, I'm calling it out. Now that I've been through it, I can tell you what it's like to be a candidate of color inside the Democratic Party. I saw a conversation online this morning with a young lady who was talking about people running more as independents, getting out of either party and just being independent candidates. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. You guys want to talk? Let's talk constructively, because a lot of times people are, get behind the computers and talk, but let's have a conversation this morning. Let's see. We have a comment. Yes, Kate Armstrong Lee, this is your time to ask direct questions. Utilize it. Let's see. Kate, if you're out there, we'd love to hear from you. We have a lot of people that make comments. Please call in and talk to me. This is your opportunity to speak to me directly. We don't have to get behind it. No, behind the computer. Let's have a conversation, and let's get beyond the division inside the political party, inside the Democratic Party. Withhold the Vote is about encouraging and empowering people, getting people to go to the polls, cast their votes, but do it strategically. Everybody can't get your vote because they have a D behind your name, but behind their name, they can't. And I don't believe that we should give our votes away. So let's see if anybody is going to join us. We do have a caller. Let's see if we can get this person on live. Let's listen. Good morning, caller. How are you?
Hi, Tamara. It's Lena again. I'm sorry, I just dialed in, so I missed the whole. I'm not sure what we're talking about.
We're talking about, okay, so the second part of this call, Lena, was about write-in candidates. There's some chatter around there being write-in candidates in November. What's your thoughts? Because that option is available on the ballot where people can write in a candidate. What's your thoughts on that?
Generally speaking, I think it's great. I think it's wonderful to have that opportunity to be able to do that, and I would empower people to use that, their right to do that. Me personally, I like to really understand who's running, and try to gain understanding about what they're trying to do first. However, if I feel that there's a candidate I can stand behind and write in, I would gladly do that.
Yeah, awesome. See, callers, this isn't hard. She called in. Lena, thank you. I always enjoy hearing from you. Let's have the conversation. So many people, you more or less, it's easy to kind of get on your computers and type and have these conversations. I would love to hear from you. Like I said, those that are writing the negative comments about me, it's okay. But I encourage you to call in. Again, our call-in number is 929-477-3442. Sometimes it's easier to talk it out than to just write these comments and call people names and say ugly things. I don't think that's the democratic way. I think we should be more of be better than that as Democrats. That's not how we fight. It's like a low blow. So for those of you that want to name call and say ugly things, it's such a low blow. So I'm gonna let you have it, and you look how you look, and we're gonna continue to take the high road and continue to do the right thing. Again, Withhold the Vote is about encouraging and empowering. It is. Yep. Let's see. We got another. Let's see if we can get another caller again. 929-73442. 929-477-3442. So these conversations that we're having, that I'm having on the Withhold the Vote page, I would encourage you to like the page, because like I said, I know more people who are not voting than people that are voting. I really absolutely do. Like I said, I did not come from a political family. I wasn't raised around politics. So, I mean, even once I moved to Atlanta, I wasn't politically engaged. So there's a lot of opportunity if we can have these conversations. So I'm going to read to you another post. He says, if a white person was telling people of color not to vote, Black people in particular would be all up in arms, considering our ancestors died to get our right to vote for our own interests. This is dangerous and foolish if you ask me. Change the name or put some more details or a plan of action to hold politicians accountable. Only like 40-something% of eligible voters in 4-year elections now. You can drive it down into the 30s or 20s and let those in control continue to control everything. Come on now. So I'm getting a lot of I'm getting a lot of a lot of people that are not very happy, but this is good stuff. Let's have these conversations. So my answer to this is that you're looking at voting through your own lens and not through the lens of others. The silence of those who are not voting is deafening, and their silence must be validated. This page is for them. So if you know somebody that's not voting and you're liking this page, this is an opportunity for you to have a conversation. If you see somebody on this page and we're having a conversation, just know that the people that are not voting are reading this. So I want you to be mindful that we want to have conversations that encourage them to get out and vote and see beyond the back and forth and the meanness. I said that this page is for them. I want to attract people who are not voting. I want them to like this page because I want them to read the comments, but I want your comments to be positive. And I said to him, if you're going to comment, do not shame or guilt people who are not voting. Too many politicians and the entire political system have given them reason not to vote. And the way you are commenting, you are giving them reason to. Our goal is to empower and encourage. Sit back and watch, and please don't yell. He used a lot of capital letters in when he was typing. And I said, please don't yell. The capital letters are a bit much. Allow those who are quiet and not engaged politically an opportunity to talk and have a safe space for honest dialogue. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to like this page that don't vote, that are withholding the vote. They're going to be very attracted to the name Withhold the Vote. So when they're withholding their vote, let's have conversations that make them think. Like, give facts, put things out to make people think and encourage them to vote. Don't shame them or guilt them into not vote. Into voting. Okay, we have another caller. Let's see who else is here. Hold on for us. Caller, are you with us? 747.
Yes, I am. Tamara.
Hey, good morning. How are you, sir?
I'm doing very, very well. I think you know who this is.
Is this Mr. Armin?
I'm sorry?
Mr. John?
Armwood.
Armwood. John is your first name.
And I just want to chime in behind you. You're talking about writing in the vote. I have actually never missed a general or primary since 1972.
Awesome.
But there have been many times when there was nobody on the ballot that I felt that I could vote. I have done things like before I came to Georgia, I have voted in the for the communist candidate out of protest. I have written my name in a zillion times, particularly living in the 6th district in East in Georgia, because they were not even Democrat candidates on the ballot. And even times when there were Democratic candidates, they were not candidates that were in any way responsive to my needs. Mm-hmm. And I refuse to give away my precious vote that my grandfather could not vote. In fact, my grandfather was given black after he read the U.S. Constitution when he was in South Carolina, when he was the principal of the colored high school. I said colored high school, given Latin to read, so he would not vote. And he said, I guess you have no intention of voting that day. So I know the value of the vote, but I will not waste it on candidates who are not responsive to my needs and the needs of people of color. Not happening. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. When I see Democrats like Chuck Schumer being two-faced and lying to DACA students saying, oh, we're going to shut down the U.S. government, and we're not going to let it start until there's a deal reached on DACA. And if he does it for 2 or 3 days, and some moderately conservative Democratic senators are complaining, well, you might be endangering us in our swing districts. And he says, okay, who am I going to sacrifice? Am I going to sacrifice these young people of color? Or am I going to sacrifice these conservative Democrats? No, we're going to do it the American way. We're going to sacrifice the people of color. That has to stop. This has been American history since we got here and before, because the indigenous Americans, and understand, Mexicans are 67% indigenous Americans. They are the true Americans. Their country was stolen from them. Understand that. Manifest Destiny. What was that about? It was about the stealing of America from Native Americans. What was the highway robbery with the military marching into Mexico City and telling the president of Mexico, we want San Diego Harbor, we want San Francisco Harbor, our army is outside the halls of Montezuma, give it up or else. And that's what happened. So, withhold the vote. And I'm going to get off my soapbox and give it back to you.
Awesome. And that is the epitome of what this is. Thank you, John. I totally appreciate you and Lima being like my regulars. Thank you, guys. But yes, that's what Withhold the Vote is all about. It's not about telling people not to vote. It's about leveraging that power that we have. It's about harnessing it. It's about, directing it towards the issues and getting something done. People died. You're right. They died for this right. They fought for this right. We have to leverage it. And this is our opportunity now to have that conversation. And the people that will be liking this page, the people that we're targeting, these are people that are sitting on the sidelines. And guess what? Those that are sitting on the sidelines, you are withholding your vote. Somebody hears you. And I heard these people in my district. So this was my personal experience. I heard these people in my district, these people that I met that weren't voting. That's why when I ran this third time around, I said it. I was intentional about targeting people who were not engaged, because those were conversations we need to have. That is going to be a solid base when you build it. Democratic Party, if you want to win races, you want to change the state of this country, which sometimes I'm not sure if we do or we don't. That's another conversation. But in order to do that, we have to have a solid foundation with people who are sitting on the sidelines and bringing them into the fold. We cannot keep reaching out to these moderates as if they're going to come back. They're gone. Let them go. That conversation is tiring, trying to convince somebody who's already convinced. Bring those people that are sitting on the sidelines, include them, hear them, encourage them, empower them. Those are my magic words, because it's like it worked when I had those conversations in my district. People were excited to see that there was a candidate that heard them, that whatever their concerns were, we could hear them. And we're intentional about not just having talking points, because we're going to continue to watch candidates from here on out. And it's not about these talking points. It's about putting some action behind it. And we're going to watch you. So you can say candidates and elected officials, you can say that all the way up until when session starts. If we don't see policy, if we don't see activity, if we don't see you moving in the direction that affect the issues that affect people of color, that remedy those issues, guess what? You might get targeted at some point. But right now, everybody is, this is an open field. We actually have a tracking mechanism that I have been privy to use for many years, where I actually have been tracking policy for my industry, and I've tracked politicians. So I know how to look up your records. I know we know what things to look for. We're going to watch how you vote. We're going to watch what you're doing under the Gold Dome here in Georgia. We're going to keep our eyes on you. And we have to be intentional about bringing these people into the fold. I'm going to put the numbers still on the screen. So if you are just chiming in, I'm going to keep you guys for just a couple more minutes. We're going to try not to keep you too long on a Friday morning. I know it's sunshine here in Georgia and quite beautiful, so I'm sure you guys want to get out and have lunch, but I will definitely get you to call in if you will. Just a few more minutes. I see some comments. The biggest winner, let's see what this says. The biggest winner in every election is neither Republican or Democrat. It is none of the above, evidenced by low turnout. Yep, we keep losing. Thank you, Cliff, for that. Yep, it's none of the above and evidenced by the low turnout. We got to start having conversations with people that, the communities of color, our Asian community, our Indian community, our Latina community, our African-American community. We have to have conversations, and we have to make sure that there's policy and politicians that are intentional about addressing the issues that affect these communities. Again, I am Tamara Johnson Shealy. I'm going to give you my website. My website is tamarashealy.com. Again, www.tamarashealy.com. We're going to continue to have these conversations. We are on Blog Talk. This will be on YouTube, and of course, it will be right here on Facebook. All right, I'm going to call it an afternoon. I want to thank you guys for joining me. We're going to continue to have these conversations. I do have someone else that'll be joining me next week, Friday. I'm going to do have these broadcasts and have these calls, and you can call in every Friday at 11 a.m. So remind those people that are doing all the chitter chatter behind the scenes that, if they really want to have a real conversation, they can have a real conversation with me out loud right here. And again, my name is Tamara Johnson Shealy, and I want to thank you guys for joining me right here on this broadcast. I will see you next Friday. And again, Withhold the Vote is about encouraging and empowering those people that are withholding their vote and holding candidates and elected officials accountable. So thank you guys for joining me on this Friday morning, and I will see you next week. Same time, same channel. Thank you guys. Have a good one.